Everyone, we are going to explain what is the multimeter and how to use the multimeter. We have this here, this photo. I don't have exactly this model of multimeter. This is manual range multimeter. Also there is this auto range multimeter. This is Fluke 17B auto range. So we start with manual range here. First of all, you have this test leads like these ones. You put the red in volt, ohm, hertz, and you put the black lead in the comb. And what you can measure with the multimeter, you can measure voltage. There is two types of voltage: DC volt, batteries. All the batteries are DC volts. And there is AC volt. In AC volt is this, the voltage of the electricity. Okay, AC volt. This is 228 volt of electricity volt. Okay. So let's start. Here in DC volt, you can measure this battery and this batteries, and also car batteries, and every battery and every voltage DC volt. This multimeter is manual range, so you start with 20 volt for these batteries. Will show you 1.5, and there's another number 1.50, for example. For this battery will show you 9.00 in 20 volt range. This is measuring the voltage DC. And then for electricity 220 volt, you must use measuring the range volt AC 600 volt, because it's high voltage. And be careful, because this multimeter input protection is very low. So it's not designed for using a lot of in electricity, home electricity measuring. Be careful and test leads. If you can buy original test leads like this Fluke or any another company, test lead with $4 or $5 or $10 will be best from these test leads. They are very cheap. And then you can measure the resistance in this multimeter: 200 ohm to 20 kilo, 2 kilo ohm, 20, 200, 2 mega ohm, 20 mega, and 200 mega ohm. And also you can measure ampere AC and DC. To measure ampere, you must put the black plug in the comb, and the red plug in this last plug holder, 10 amp. And if the ampere is very low, you can change it to this plug, the red, and the black stays here. Okay, so we continue explaining with this multimeter. This is the Fluke 17B. Let's start. Here, volt DC. We start to measure batteries. This battery, 9 volt. It's measuring 7.80. On this battery, 1.646. It's showing also the negative, because here is positive and here is negative, and this is normal. If you change it, it will show the same result. Okay, 1.64. Also, you can measure here. You have resistor and continuity and diode. What you can do with this, see, For resistance in auto range or manual range, also you can change this manual range. We keep it on auto range. You can measure, for example, resistance like this one and this resistor. This is 5 watt resistor and this is 2 watt resistor. Let's see how much they give. For this resistor, (148 ohm), and this resistor 10 mega ohm. If you test these two resistors with these multimeters, manual range, you start measuring these resistors. For example, this 10 mega ohm, you start measuring from this count, 200 mega. If it will show 10, you lower it to 20 mega, will show it 0.00 or something. And for this resistor, also you start measuring it. You lower the ranges until you reach 2 kilo ohm, will show you 150 ohm. Okay. We return with auto range multimeter. We start the diode test. Diode test. Here is the big diode. This diode is 6 amp 1000 volt. Here is the positive of the diode and here is the negative. Let's see. It's reading 0.476, so its voltage drops is 476 millivolt. And from other side, it's not reading. That's meaning this diode is good diode. Okay. Okay. Also, you can diode test. There is maximum drop voltage. This multimeter is very low. I think 1.5 volts. So these LEDs can't measure with these diodes. If you want to measure these LED diodes, for example, there is this multimeter. Another types of multimeters, they can measure this multimeter and clamp meter. You put it here, diode test, and you measure them. You will see also there is this another side. There is light. It's reading 1.859. Voltage drop 1.859, and there is light. And the red LED 1.80, and the blue one, it's lighting, but it's not reading because it's hit the maximum range of this multimeter. Also, you can measure with the multimeter with this one or this one. You can measure the volt of house, but be careful when you measure the voltage of the house. Be careful to not touch this test leads. Okay, we try to measure it. You change this volt range to the volt AC. Okay, in auto range, and the black jack in the COM and red jack in the volt range. Here is 229 volt, and here also is reading 228.423. Be careful to not touch these pins when measuring the home voltage.